Forgot, and that's right. Forgot? Forgot.
I'm here with O at Pho Convoy in San Diego.
Can't believe how I think yours smells better than mine does, and I'm kind of jealous. Can I steal a piece of yours?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm stealing a piece before I start here. Thanking you. This is the shit, guaranteed.
So, how long has Fluff been a band?
A little before 92. But 92 is like when we started the band. Like full on, I was still doing Fluff at the same time. And then I just kind of did it as a side project, you know, for Olivelawn.
So Olivelawn was still going when you started? Okay. And so, what bands have you been in? I mean, you started in Circle One?
I started in Circle One. That was probably the only band I was in prior to Olivelawn. I did a bunch of little stuff, but nothing major.
Yeah. So, you've been playing since the early 80s?
Yeah, probably since like 81 or 82.
And you started on bass?
I started on bass.
So,
bass in Circle One.
How did you learn how to play? I mean, did somebody show you, or did you?
It's punk rock. You just sit down and go beat. Yeah, that's right. You know, you don't really think much about it. You just kind of. I bought a bass, I think, at a yard sale for $5, and it was a Tesco Del Rey, and that's when I started. When I was like in the 70s, I bought it.
So you've never had any lessons or anything?
No, never, not one. Not a lesson.
That's awesome. And songwriting, no lessons? You just
No songwriting lessons. Yeah. How do you take songwriting lessons?
I don't know. I mean, how do people like you, how do people like Sean write melodies?
From covering other people's songs.
Yeah.
For a long time, and then like just, I guess, eventually understanding the structure of the songs.
Yeah.
You know, like you listen to a lot of music, and you kind of, some people like really, I think the more you learn other people's songs, the better you become a songwriter.
So, with Fluff, you're not writing any new material, are you?
Yeah, I've written like 5 songs. And we'll see how it goes back, if it ever comes to fruition.
Yeah. So, one thing you're known for is you know everybody, like every band and every skater, and you know everybody.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened either.
It's just from hanging out?
I didn't go out of my way to try to meet everybody, it just happened.
Man, because I mean before I even really knew you well, when I just knew who you were, like that's one thing I always knew about you. And like people call you
everybody?
Yeah, people call you like the mayor of San Diego.
Yeah, I've heard that before too. I don't know, maybe it's because I didn't have a home like the first 20 years of my life, so I slept on everybody's couch.
Yeah.
For like a long time. Like when I moved out, I worked at Transworld Skateboard Magazine. I was a photographer, and I just traveled around the world taking photos. So when I came home, I didn't have a place to stay. I usually slept on people's couches. Couch touring, what we called it.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you get started with the photography?
I worked at Flipside magazine, probably in like, I can't even place the time, in 1980 maybe, 1979, 1980. I worked at Flipside, just starting to help out Al, and the guy who worked there, his name was Pete. He quit taking photos, and then Al was just like, here you go. You know?
That's awesome.
I was like, he just gave me a camera, goes, no more doing the layout and art, here you go. You know, so I just started taking advantage of all the places I had access to, and I started taking photos, and it all started at Flipside. If it wasn't for Al from Flipside, I probably wouldn't take photos today.
Man. So Olivelawn, when did that start?
That started I'm no good at this.
Late 80s?
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember when, maybe 89?
Have you played with everybody you wanted to play
89.
with?
Have I what?
With your 3 bands, have you played with everybody you've ever wanted to play with?
No, I've never played with David Bowie yet. And probably never will, you know what I mean, but I'd like to.
Is there anybody else?
Most people have. No, I don't know if playing with somebody is any better than like going and seeing it.
Right.
You know, so I don't know. I never looked at it that way before. I guess I've been blessed to play with as many bands as we have. Like Olivelawn, you know, opened for Dinosaur Jr. and Nirvana, you know.
Right. Oh, okay.
You know, which was a pretty amazing show. Like people always go, "Oh, Nirvana! I wish I would have saw him." I saw him a million times.
Yeah, that brings up another thing? Weren't you a roadie for what? Nirvana, Jawbreaker, My Bloody Valentine?
Well,
was that
all?
Not
really a roadie, I guess. For the Muffs, I was a true roadie. And for Ministry, I worked for Ministry. But Nirvana, I kind of helped them, but I wasn't their roadie. Like they'd come down and play shows, I'd come down and help them. Like when they played before they were big, you know. And I'd shoot photos of them as well. Mudhoney especially.
Yeah. I heard My Bloody Valentine. Is that true?
No, I don't think I've ever done anything with them, but I did a couple shows with them, but I didn't really work for them. I was just with Jay, and Jay was with them.
Okay.
Dinosaur was kind of small, you know, before they were big.
Now, I always thought you were a roadie for Jawbreaker because you were always on stage and helping out. But
that's true. Well, I just never really went on tour with them as a roadie per se, you know, like I'm the guy. But I guess I've roadied for them, taking gear in and out, changing gear,
so
tuning guitars.
You're like a buddy that helps out.
That's right. Just like you would if you were at a show.
Right.
Kind of the same thing with you. You might be assuming my position now.
Man,
you will be the mayor of San Diego. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've looked up to you for a long time because you seem like you've done everything your way.
That's true, I have. I've always been pretty stubborn about that.
Do you feel like you've made a successful career?
Yeah. I mean,
you make a living off of what you want to do, right?
It may be a failure in some people's eyes, like when Fluff, we signed to MCA and it didn't happen, you know? But to me, it was always a 100% up. And we were always making money. We always did everything we wanted to do. And we never were told what to do, or we never even compromised. Even to the point of like when the MCA record, when Fluff Waikiki Keys record came out on MCA, it still said Francophonic Sound on the cover. And I don't know any person ever that got whatever they wanted on there. And that was like in the deal. As I said, like if you don't put the logo on there, it says Francophonic Sound on the cover, then we don't have a deal. And MCA said, no problem. And that's probably the first time on any label they ever did something like that. You know?
That's awesome. The thing, I don't ever mind people doing the major label thing because I'd rather see bands I like make money. You know.
No one ever cried to sell out when we signed to MCA, but I always thought it was. I only signed to MCA because I thought I owed it to Miles and Josh. They've been in the band forever, and to not try to do something better is kind of lame, I think, you know. Like try to make money for everybody in the band, you know. We've been roughing it for a long time in Fluff, you know.
Yeah.
So I thought if we had the opportunity and we didn't take it, we kind of steep it.
This tape.
About the goods we got here, or you want to wait till that comes?
Yeah, we'll wait till it comes.
Just keep. I mean, did you want to say something about the goods we got here, or you want to wait till that comes?
Yeah, we'll wait till it comes.
Or just keep going, and then we'll just throw it in.
It'll show up. So,
where do we leave off at?
We talked about bands that you've helped out. You've talked about bands that you always wanted to play with. You've been on every year of the Warped Tour at some point?
I've been on every year of the Warped Tour, and Fluff played on the first 3 years of the Warped Tour, 95, 96, and 97. We played on a couple years of it. Like here, 1 year, all East Coast, and then a little bit of the West Coast, you know, another year. And then the Cheap Lays played on it for about 2 weeks, the Hawaiian band event.
That's awesome.
And then I've been on it every year for probably about 2 weeks, at least. Just like this year. Same thing. First week and last week.
Little vacation?
Not really a vacation.
No? No. Is it a lot of work?
No, it's just really good. I have the greatest time ever. It's a fun tour. I'm really excited to go on it. But it's pretty burly at times, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you listen to in your car, like when you're just driving around?
That's a tough one to say.
Regular. What do you listen to?
That worked out all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes I listen to a lot of country. Sometimes I listen to a lot of, like, punk. You know? Lately, what's in the car right now? Well, let me think of what I've been listening to lately. I like the new White Stripes record a lot. That's really good.
Yeah.
I like the Great Northern CD.
Yeah.
That's the first CD.
You guys do one the mango soda ice? So plain the strawberry.
I ordered the strawberry. We just want 3 things total.
3 things?
So 1 mango, what you get?
1 pineapple coconut.
1 mango, 1 strawberry.
You want that sugar?
The mango.
How about the mango one?
No, he just wants it
normal.
As much sugar as you can go.
So, a wide variety. Does all that stuff influence your songwriting?
No, because every time I pick up the guitar, it always ends up the same thing.
Yeah.
And I listen to country a lot, like almost more than anything I listen to. Swing and a lot of like early country, and I don't sound like a country artist. You know? I still sound like the same old punk rock guy that I've always been.
Right. Doesn't Fluff use full step down tune?
2 steps down.
2 steps down.
Yeah, C. So C, D, C, F, A, D, across the board.
Yeah.
That's how the strings are.
And do you know like any kind of? You said you taught yourself to play. Do you know like music theory? Can you?
No, not at all.
So
not one thing.
if you tell Josh like how to play a song that you wrote, what do you do?
I don't know. He kind of plays exactly like I do, so it's not really a problem. Like we sync together amazing. I can just tell him what it is, and he knows it right away.
And then
Sean, like from Reeve, is a different story. Like he's really well versed in that kind of stuff. And with me, I just gotta go like whatever. Does it work? All right. Okay, great. It's good.
Awesome.
I've never really aspired to be a good musician, just a good songwriter.
Good enough.
Yeah, not even like really a good musician. I just wanted to be a good songwriter.
Yeah.
I always liked the people who wrote songs. I never really liked the people who were good. I don't like Wing Wee Malmsteen.
Yeah.
Yeah. People like that. And I like jazz and stuff like that. I can appreciate all that, but it's not like being good was never something I strived to do. It was just writing good songs what I was trying to do. Try to write good songs that you can remember,
Yeah.
Not just like, oh, I wrote 50 million parts in there, and they go into all these weird minor and diminished scales. I don't even know what's going on. Lots of people do that stuff just to be like, that's how their creativity goes.
Didn't you used to be a big Weather Report fan?
Yeah, I love Jago Pastorius, definitely.
Did you want to be that style of player?
No, but I just like
you
them.
just like listening.
But you got to remember, Jago Pastorius was kind of a gnarly, full-on punk guy too, kind of,
Right.
He died in a bar.
Yeah.
That's how gnarly he was. And I don't think he strived to be a good. He just was.
Yeah.
He
Happened.
didn't sit down and practice. Here it comes. Oh boy. Thank you. Look at this. Where do you get this at? Oh yes. Check out Jake's. Come on, Jake. Give me the old one cheek sneak. Shaved ice bowl at the tea station. Nice. Can I eat this in private? Do you mind?
Go for it.
Yeah, without somebody staring at me while I'm eating it. Did you not want to put in the banner, dude?
Oh shit, I forgot him.
What's that? Did you forget them or did you forget the whole of it?
We got some, if anyone's interested, we have some 18 by 24, yeah.
No, dude, that guy's cool. Dude, let him yell. I think he's awesome.
You're looking good, dude.
Someone needs to get kicked out of here first. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we're Fluff, and this is the first time we played in a long time, and we're really happy to be here with Buck on Run. That's right. And we're going to play our own little special brand of ska. Here it goes.
Yeah, tonight marks, I guess, both these bands and Fluf and Buck 09 were around in the 90s, which is kind of spooky, you know what I'm saying? So we're happy to be with them again. Like I should mention that again, that's kind of a little bit like throwing back. If Deadbolt was to be on the show tonight, it would have made a perfect show, don't you think? Deadbolt, or maybe that little-known band in San Diego, Rockin' from the Crypt, if they would have opened for us, you know what I'm saying? It would have been a good show. It's still a good show. This one came off of the record Man Gravy, and it's called Sticky Bun. of our set to introduce. Way over on that side of the stage, on the Fender Jaguar bass, Mr. Josh Higgins. Been playing for him for quite a few years, about 14 probably. Is that not true?
That's 14 years, that's correct, sir.
And in the center, none other than Brad Davis. Let's hear it for Brad Davis, come on. Who I've also had the pleasure to play in a band with the last 5 years and Reeve Oliver with. So it's been out very good.
Miles?
He's in New Zealand right now and he's listening to it.
Yeah, I just talked to him day before yesterday, and he just quit his job in the vineyard, and I broke his legs. Brad broke his legs, so he had to go back.
Who actually said Miles anyways? Is there someone old enough in here to know who Miles was? That's true. You don't know. Has anyone ever heard of Fluff in here before tonight? Awesome, thanks. That's I appreciate it. Thank you. But thought it might have been a little scary because tonight Fluff is the meat in a ska sandwich. You know what I'm saying? So we have ska bottom bread and ska top bread. And not that we're not happy to be there. I just thought I'd mention it. So it's kind of scary for me. You know what I'm saying?
I like sandwiches.
Yeah, I'm gluten free, but he likes sandwiches.
Hi, my name's Kevin Lyman, and I'm the founder and producer of the Vans Warped Tour. And we're sitting here in San Diego one day before the end of the 2007 tour.
So how's this tour been compared to the others?
I mean, it's strange. Every tour has a different nuance or something that makes it different. But this almost seems like a revitalization, kind of rebirth of the tour a little bit. I mean, the diversity of the lineup. I mean, walking around today and you can see Fishbone and Flogging Molly. Then you see a younger band like the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. And then we had a great time. I mean, it's been a great summer. Everyone's like, are you glad the tour's over? And I'm like, not really, because now I got to go back and try to make next year as good as this one. And that usually starts next week sometime.
Oh, you booked the whole year in advance?
Oh, yeah.
And is it right up down till the first day of the next one?
We're pretty good by Thanksgiving. I like to have most of the tour booked.
Awesome. Has there ever been a band that you've wanted on the Warped Tour that you haven't gotten?
Ramones.
Yeah.
And I always say, I'd always let all their other bands play if they would. I'd always say, let's do it all Ramones all the time stage. So you could have all your little bands play. You know, the Marky Marone and the Intruders, and and then they would end with Ramones. And Joe Strummer, he was confirmed to play the following summer, but he passed away.
Right, I remember
But
that.
otherwise, it took me a while to get Offspring. They've been out. I mean, bands eventually seem to come out. I just think they're missing out if they don't.
All bands want to come out and don't even really. They come out and then they go, oh, I really want to do this.
Yeah, I mean, we were hanging out with Pepper yesterday, and they got it early in the tour, and they came back and they're like, man, we got to come back every summer. So Pennywise, I mean, Fletcher said a good thing the other we were hanging out, and he goes, going on a Warped Tour, you get a 2-week vacation to be young again, but just to be like a kid, and that's what you are.
I feel like you've done as much or more than like all the mainstream bands that have, been punk bands for punk to be acceptable,
Well, I think in some ways it's been a good thing, but it's like my wife sometimes says I've taken the danger out of punk rock.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I mean, I believe punk. I worked in the clubs for 12 years in Los Angeles, and I always said you put 10% of the people cause 90% of the problems in the cover of darkness. Like those clubs we worked in were crazy. And remind me to tell you later about Big Frank. I saw Big Frank yesterday.
Thanks for I can't wait to see that. I'm excited to hear that.
So, O tells me to ask you about what the most fun you have on tour that's not at the Warped Tour.
Fishing, golfing. That's pretty much what I do on my days off. I mean, I'm intense. I still go to every one of my shows. I'm still here. I think I'm the only producer that does that. But on those days off, we build like a mini one-day vacation and everything. And we try to jam. Yeah, we bring some people along. We go out. I have a great day, and we have really a lot of fun.
Oh man, well thank you so much
Thank you
for doing the Warped Tour, because really, I mean, I think I missed 2 years, but I've come since the beginning.
Cool, Dave. Thank you.
Love it, man. I was Concord Pavilion first tour.
Oh yeah, Love and No Doubt.
Quicksand and Slime.
It was a good year.
Yeah.
Kind of like feels like that a little bit out here this year, but it's funny because like Anthony Civarelli came this year. He hadn't been coming a few years, and he's now they got to bring their kids, and they're all looking for air conditioner on my bus. Watch Cartoon Network.
Right on.
They know it's going to be there.
Thank you again.